Dímelo, mi gente, Marcucci here, again with another video. And today we have Representative John Cabello from Illinois. He recently retired cop, so thank you so much for your service. He's starting a new job, so congratulate him, everyone, in the comment section. But today we're going to be talking about the Bitcoin strategic reserve in Illinois. So without further ado, how are you doing, Mr. Cabello?
Great, and thanks for having me. I appreciate it immensely.
Thank you so much. So yeah, how did you get into crypto? When did you first learn about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and what drew you into this field?
So, actually, a friend of mine who is a lobbyist in Springfield, not in a financial area, but in healthcare, we were just talking, and he said, Texas has just started doing a Bitcoin bill, and he says, it's probably time that Illinois does that. So, we just started talking. And I had staff look at the bill that Texas was doing. We did a little bit of research on it and thought that, hey, let's start a conversation here in Illinois. So we filed the bill, and that was on a Wednesday that the bill was filed. And Thursday, I leave Springfield. I'm driving home on the phone with someone, and my cousin from Texas calls. He lives in Dallas, and I haven't heard from him in quite a while. So I thought something was going on, and he's like, "Hey, did you just file a Bitcoin bill? Because you're exploding on X right now." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he does a lot with Bitcoin and crypto, and so we had a long conversation on back. He was filling me in on a little bit of it, but that's really how it started. Um, Today, we've got a few more co-sponsors for the bill, and honestly, I think we are. I'm going to give the bill up. In Illinois, the legislature is made up as um, Republicans and Democrats, as everybody knows. But in Illinois, I'm in the super minority. So they're not going to let me run a bill like this because I'm in the super minority. I am the assistant minority leader, but they're still not going to let me run that bill. So I talked to a friend of mine over on the other side of the aisle. His name is Cam Buckner. I believe he is going to take the bill. He is the Speaker pro tem. He's right underneath the Speaker. And we're in the discussions. He's got the paperwork with my signature on it to give him the bill. I'll be the chief co-sponsor, so it'll be a bipartisan bill, and we'll have a much better chance of getting the bill to pass if we have a Democrat, especially the Speaker pro tem, run the bill. I'm one of those guys where I could care less if it's my name's on the bill or not. If it's a good bill, let's do it. Let's get it going. Let's do what's right. So we'll know here soon whether we've got a good shot at this or not, depending on if he takes the bill. Now, I have had lots of different conversations with a lot of different folks that contacted me after the bill was introduced. There are a lot of good folks that have recommended changes. There's some folks that recommend doing something totally different. So once I find out whether Cam's going to take the bill or not, we'll look at then getting a group together, sitting at a table, finding out what is the best bill for the state, because we have to worry about, the people that put us there. We need to worry about the taxpayers, and then how it's going to best help consumers, and see what we can do from there.
Perfect. So you mentioned the state and the taxpayers and everything. So why do you think it's so important for Illinois to their financial future? When I think about Illinois, I think about Chicago. I have heard a lot of great things coming out from Chicago. Yeah, I have a lot of friends there. So how's the financial situation over there, and how this could help taxpayers over there?
So, from what I've been seeing, y- the currency is pretty volatile sometimes, but I've never seen it go down for a very long period of time. So the way the bill is drafted right now is that we would have to hold on to it for at least 5 years, and I believe that that's going to build some wealth during that 5 years. we take that wealth and we put it towards our debt, and we start paying off our debt. We start paying off our pension debt. We start paying off all of the other debt that we have, and it's kind of a savings account for us. I think it's a good way of giving taxpayers some return on investments in what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Now, the way the bill is written, is that the way it's going to be exactly how it's going to be passed? No. So we've got to, we've got some work to do. Let's wait and see how, if Cam takes the bill, let's see how we can change it, how we can make it better. But it's only going to help the taxpayers.
Perfect. And when you say Cam, right, and you say you're like a minority, so that means you is majority Democrats and you're like Republican
Yes,
speaking.
we have 118 members in the House. Republicans only have 40 members. So the Democrats have a super majority in the House. So it only makes sense that we have House Democrat leadership trying to run this bill.
Got it. And how fast do these bills kind of take, right? We see I've interviewed people from different states, different politicians from different states, and some states are faster and some states are a little bit slower. How's the process in Illinois?
This won't be very quick. So we have a session. Our spring session is from January till May 31st. If it's not done by May 31st, it could be moved into the veto session, which is in the fall. But we would want to get this done before May. This is such a new thing. What I have a feeling that will happen is we're going to have some discussions. We're going to see what the best bill that we can come up with, depending on whether the Dems take it or not. And I'm not sure we'll get it done by May, because we are facing a $3.2 billion shortfall in the budget. That's going to take up most of the discussions, and there's a lot of other things going on in the state. So I'm not so sure how quickly they will want to move this. But I mean, in a perfect world, we could get it done by April. I'm assuming this may go into the veto session into the fall.
Got it. And so you mentioned the 5-year process and everything. You also mentioned in the bill kind of like cold storage and different ways and different security measures. Who's going to be in charge of the cold storage? It's the straight treasurers, right?
Yeah, it would probably be the state treasurer. But again, once we find out what Cam Buckner does, we call him Leader Cam Buckner. If he takes the bill, he may want a different source of doing that. I don't think that there's anything better than the treasurer's office to do it. He may want the comptroller to do it, but the comptroller is usually paying the bills, and the treasurer hangs on to the money. So we'll see what he wants after we know what he's going to do. We should know that by next week, the end of next week, I should say. But we're still in the infancy stage here, so let's hope that, yeah, I would think the treasurer should have it.
Perfect. And how would Illinois get these funds, right? So is majority going to be like grants, donations? How would the Bitcoin arrive into the fund?
So right now, it would be where citizens could donate it to the state. Um, that again was the start of a conversation. I fully believe that we should add some of the state dollars into the fund. So we could start off small with 2%, or we could go as high as 15%. I think Wisconsin's doing 15% right now. So let's look at what other states are doing. But again, we've got a major shortfall coming in with $3.2 billion in so we'll have to wait and see how we can play that out.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. So what are some of the challenges that you personally have experienced talking to other colleagues or some good areas that everyone is like looking forward to it? How are your different colleagues reacting to the news?
I'll be honest with you, a lot of folks don't know this industry. I played around in it just a little bit, and I have somebody do, management of money for me in, um, uh, for sums of money that I have, but then I play around myself on Robinhood. So, I've got a little bit of Bitcoin in that, and it's crazy how much money I can, if I wanted to cash out, I could have had already. I mean, it's just, so I don't think people know. I mean, legislators don't know. There has been a few other bills that have been filed in regards to Bitcoin by, I believe it, by Travis Weaver, Representative Travis Weaver, and also Representative Bill Howder, because they've asked to be on this bill, which I put them on so far, and they should stay on one, even if Cam takes it. So um, a lot of people down there don't know much about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw the other bill is by Senator Mark Walker, SB 1797. I see here. Uh,
Okay.
I could be wrong,
Oh,
but
you're probably right. I don't usually pay attention to the Senate because they'll send us stuff over. It takes a while. They go through the same process that we do. And normally what happens is there's sister bills. So you have one bill in the House, one bill in the Senate, whichever one goes first. We didn't want to do that because we wanted to start the conversation in the House.
and why is there like different bills, right? Is there a particular reason?
No, no, you mean for sister bills?
Yeah.
Because sometimes the Senate will pass it over to the House quicker than the House will pass it over to the Senate. So
Oh,
the Speaker of the House and the Senate President have lots of control. So the Speaker of the House may never let a bill out of the Rules Committee. If it never gets out of the Rules Committee, it won't move. But if you have a sister bill in the Senate President might say, yeah, well, let's go ahead and move that bill. And they can pass it, launch it over to the House, then the Speaker has to deal with it. So it's all kind of a game, a chess match.
got it. So if the bill, doesn't pass, is it going to be reintroduced in the future, or are there like any alternative solutions to kind of like embrace Bitcoin and blockchain innovation in Illinois? Like, is Illinois like I haven't really heard much from blockchain innovation in Illinois. Like, I don't know if there's like miners over there or exchanges. How is the climate over there, if you know?
I don't. I apologize. I don't know that at all. Can't answer that. But I can tell you that even if this bill doesn't move forward this session, this year, we'll reintroduce it. But again, I've had a lot of folks from the industry contact me, and we're going to put a working group together to figure out what some of the best legislation that we can come up with to move forward with, and then we'll move that package of legislation forward. But again, I need to get some of the Dems on board, especially the leadership of the Dems on board. So that's my main focus right now, trying to get them on board so that we can get something to move.
Yeah, and I was doing a lot. There's a really cool website. It's called Stand with Crypto. It,
Okay.
and it talks about all the different politicians and who's like for crypto, who's like neutral, and who's like against crypto. And the majority of the House and the Senate are actually for crypto, whether it be the Democrats or Republicans. It's like a small minority, not a small minority, but I'll say like it's not as bipartisan as other issues, right? I think crypto, everyone can agree is going to be the future, and blockchain is going to be, here to stay. And blockchain technology has existed for a long, long time now. Now it's just decentralized, and I'm trying to get you decentralized. Robinhood is great, but there's other platforms that we could help you use.
Well, I'm a policeman. I'm not into that other kinds of stuff, but I'm always open to be educated because so I'll let you do that in the future here. How's that?
No, yeah, of course. There's some huge news developing of an exchange. It's called Bybit, and recently there was a hack for $1.4 billion, and the founders like talking about it. I'm probably gonna read it over after we finish the interview, but that's why I kind of asked you for security measures. So it'll be really, really good to know how the security measures will be in Illinois. So I guess we'll stay tuned until we get that figured out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, one thing that I'm finding out is Illinois is so hyper partisan. You know, everything's a fight. Everything's got to be a fight, and it doesn't seem like this is that way. It doesn't seem like which it shouldn't be. You know, when it comes to finances and when it comes to trying to find ways of easing the burden on your taxpayers, this seems like just an easy way of having a savings account, if you will. And it you know, when I first started talking with Leader Cam Buckner, he's like, "Well, I don't know anything about it." I'm like, "Well, neither do I, Cam. So let's learn together and let's find a way of doing this." And then he started looking into all of the because I sent him a lot of the stuff that I've received off of X and everything, and he's like, "Holy cow!" I said, "Yeah, there's a lot of people that our citizens are really into this stuff, and we owe it to them." To do something because you know they pay the bills, they pay our salary. So let's put the Republican and Democrat stuff aside and do what's right for the folks. And I think we're almost there.
Yeah, I think we're almost there. I mean, we have a pro crypto president. Majority of the Senate is pro crypto. Majority of the House is pro crypto. So I think it's just going to take a little bit of time and educating, yourself, different legislatures, different people all throughout to get the best product because I think that's what you guys want. You guys want the best product, and you guys want crypto here in the United States, and you guys want every single state to thrive. So I'm really happy to hear that. So my last question and last thoughts. How do you see Illinois position itself in the broader conversation of cryptocurrency regulation? Like, do you want Illinois to like be ahead in this space?
Absolutely. So if unfortunately, if you look at what Illinois is leading in, it's all of the bad stuff. And when you look at all of the good stuff, we're at the very bottom of the list. This is, again, a good nonpartisan issue. This is something that I think every Republican and Democrat can get behind. Let's lead. Let's come up with the best package of bills that we can come up with for this industry, and let's lead in it. We have a huge economy. We have some huge investors in Bitcoin here in Illinois. So let's do what's right and let's lead this and let's see what we can do with it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Cabello. I think this has been a great conversation, and I'm really excited. And you're now an ex celebrity,
Yeah,
so hopefully, once the bill is signed, we can thank you. Do you? I know Utah is like leading the states. I think this is gonna be my last question. Um, who do you think is gonna be like the first state to adopt it, like a strategic reserve or like adopt Bitcoin, or do you think it's gonna be at the federal level? Like, do you think it's going to be at the federal level first, or do you think a state is going to adopt it and then we get to a federal level?
I think the state's going to adopt it first. I'm hoping it's going to be Illinois, but we're still in the infancy stage. You know, Texas is ahead of us. Utah is ahead of us.
Mhm.
I've been talking to some of my friends in Kansas. They are very interested in seeing that. In Kansas, they get things done quick down there. So we'll wait and see. I'm not a betting man, but I would say that it's going to be a state before the feds do it.
All right, perfect. So thank you so much, Mr. Cabello. Again, thank you for everyone that's watching in Crypto Conexión. And let's get Illinois on top of the list. Like, I don't want to see Illinois near the bottom.
Yeah,
You guys
and
got a lot of great stuff, to be honest.
for any of your listeners that want to give me some input, I'm always open to listening. You know, I can never promise anything that if you give me an idea that it's going to get into the bill, because I'm one of those weird people that I don't promise that stuff as a politician. But I need to learn. I'm open, willing to listen. Yeah, I don't know if you can post my info for them, how to get a hold of me, but I'm open to listening and need help. So I'm not shy about that.
Perfect. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and hopefully Illinois becomes the first state to accept a strategic Baker reserve. So without further ado, I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Thank you so much, John.